Hey guys, welcome to #the world of cool features. And in this video, I will show you how I get nearly accurate white balance easily for these web videos that I make when I don't want to spend any time or effort in tweaking to the very last bit in post. Even if I mess it up in camera, or my light changes, or I use multiple cameras and I need to match them. Coincidentally, when I was just about to start filming this video, I got a comment from Suraj Sahi. God, I hope that's the right pronunciation. Bro, I apologize nonetheless. Well, Suraj, the first step to grading a video is getting colors correct. So this is literally video number 1 for you. The ideal solution to all the problems that I mentioned in the intro is white balancing with a gray card before you shoot your actual content, and there is a pretty cheap one available online. I have linked it in the description below. In fact, stick around till the very end and I will buy one of them for one of you guys. Yes, giveaway. Yes, there's a giveaway. In fact, I had been using the exact same card for years before I upgraded. I upgraded to the Spyderchecker 24 by Datacolor. Now, there are 3 ways of using such tools, and I will explain all 3 in increasing order of ease and accuracy. The first 2 methods are unbelievably simple to the magnitude of So if you're a very casual content creator, I would implore you to pay abject attention to the first 2 methods. In all 3 methods though, the common step is to place your gray card right in front of your subject. The lighting that you wish to set for your subject should be falling on the card in the exact same way, and the card should be facing the camera absolutely front on. No angles, no sides. Make sure there are no patches, no spots and no reflections. Following these steps is very necessary. The more carefully and better you do this step, the better your final result would be. Once your lighting and card placement is done, use the white patch or the gray patch on the card to set your camera's custom white balance too. You find this setting in your camera's custom white balance menu. On my Blackmagic Pocket 4K, I get a small zone which I need to fill with the gray patch. And when I hit update, I get white balanced.
Any ideas?
Your camera may have a different way to do it, but just tinker around in the menu and you will find it for sure. Now, before we continue to the second method, let me clarify one common issue. Now, there are varying theories about should you be setting your white balance to the white card or should you be setting it to the gray card. Listen, if you get what is called a professional middle gray card, don't worry and use it. I have now started to set my white balance to the gray card on the Spyderchecker 24 that I use. I mean, it has a large neutral gray patch for this purpose. I actually started using gray patches when I got an easy balance card by Lastolite Manfrotto because I liked the results I was getting with gray cards, and because my eyes find it easier to check for color bleeds or reflections on gray cards, and I use the black and white patches as general exposure references in my frame. In fact, I set my false color on the gray point to expose for my skin as well. I mean, it's not perfect every time. I usually have to tweak it, but it gets me in the society. And then I manually find the flat. In fact, I generally try to discourage people I know from using whites because there are so many shades of white, and because white is a pretty common color, people just wing it. And they just prop up any random thing in front of the subject. I've seen that happen, and carelessness is not a good filmmaking skill to possess or develop. But of course, if you have nothing else on you, I mean, if all you have is a clean white sheet of paper, use it. You'll get very close, if not perfectly near. Step number 2 is for people who don't have the ability to manually set white balance. They may be using a phone or a starter camera that doesn't have, the manual option. In that case, remember, never set it to auto, because auto mode might wiggle colors if something drastic happens to your frame while you're filming or moving, whatnot. Set it to one of the presets that you think closely resembles your shooting conditions. Doesn't matter if you're wrong, just be close enough, but do not set it or leave it at auto. Unless you shoot raw, if your baked in white balance is far off, corrections in post-production will cause problems. So please guess a close by preset, then shoot the white balance card in the frame for a couple of seconds, frames actually, and then continue taking your shot. Remember, you need to bring this card back in when you either change your lighting or location. Basically, whenever you think the temperature of the light falling on your subject could have changed. So every time a lighting change happens, this card should be the subject of the first shot of your scene. That actually helps in sorting footage also, in the thumbnail view. This thumbnail with that card in the frame, up until this thumbnail, it's one scene. Now, when you are in your NLE, again, I'm showing this for DaVinci Resolve. Lumetri in Premiere Pro has the same function. Use the white balance picker tool to select a clean portion from that gray or white patch, and bazinga. Why did I say bazinga? Wasn't bazinga something like gotcha? No. Oh, but well, you did get yourself white balance, so bazinga works, yeah. Actually close balanced. You may still have to look at your parades and your waveforms to fine tune things a tiny little bit, but at least you're pulling from 90, 93 or 96 than having to come to 100 from 0 or even let's say 50. Then all you have to do is just copy this node, or in Premiere's case, this effect, and just paste it on all the clips from the same set. And for the lack of other better reactions, bazinga. Your entire set shot under the same lighting conditions reaches the exact same color point or the first point. The third method is a bit more advanced and offers more creative freedom, and you actually need more than just a regular gray card. You need a color reference chart or card. And as I've already shown you, I've been using a Spyderchecker 24 by Datacolor. And if you ask me why this, why not the many others available, in fact, even Datacolor makes so many other charts. My answer is it's the cheapest. No, seriously, Resolve has a cool nifty built-in feature in its color page called Color Match. And one of the 7 products that Resolve natively supports currently, the Spyderchecker 24, is the cheapest. Premiere people, you can check out a plugin called MBR Color Corrector. It does exactly what I'm about to show you with Resolve, but in Adobe Premiere Pro, of course. That plugin has a free trial version, but you need to pay for full functionality, and personally, I honestly don't know much about it. I'm sorry, I've never used it. I'm not a Premiere Pro user. I've linked my friend Parvez's channel in the description. He's the... how do I say it? He's the expert in my friend circle, and you can get in touch with him. He's only 3 to 6 kelvins short of how cool I am. Also, if budget is not an issue with any of you guys, I highly recommend getting the X-Rite Color Checker Passport video for this method. It's built inside a plastic folding case, so it's more durable, of course. And affiliate links to everything that I am mentioning are in the description below. Not because I am getting paid to do so, but because I actually own everything I use and show you in this channel's DIYs and features, bought on MRP, and you are being suggested after my personal usage and good experience. Now, I am a one-man crew. So I actually use the color chart to kind of frame and light where my face would approximately be. I start with the gray card side first and use false colors to expose, which means the gray patch is exposed to turn just a tiny skosh above pink for the BMPCC 4K false coloring. I then use the gray patch to set my custom white balance to it as well. Yes, I do that. Yes, I do that, even though I film V-Raw, which means I can play around with white balance natively in post. But you know what? It wouldn't grow into a good habit if you use an excuse even once. Then I turn the card around, placing it back at the exact same place, exposing the color patch side for few frames. Keeping in mind, no shine, no spots. And after that, bye-bye card, hello cuteness. Now, in Resolve, on the first node of the reference clip with the color patch side of the card in the frame, go to the color match tab. Make sure the card is set to the reference card that you will be using. In my case, it's the Spider Checker 24. Then set the on-screen tool to color chart, if it's not on by default, that is. Then just position this guide on top of the chart, matching individual chips to the reference shown in the color match panel. So you see, the black chip has to be on the bottom right. You can, of course, corner skew it if your card is in a different orientation, or just rotate your clip to get it right. But you will get used to this once this becomes your routine. Now set your source gamma. Mine is of course Blackmagic Design 4K film, but there is Canon log for Canon people, there is S log for Sony people, there is V log for Panasonicians. That's not even right or a thing, isn't it? And Gamma 2.4 or Rec 709 for basically if you're confused but delivering it for the interweb. Set your target gamma. I am Blackmagic Design 4K film. You should be your camera profile or just Rec 709 if you're confused and you haven't shot log footage. Target color space is a bit important, and if I'm not wrong, most of you are here because you're wanting to deliver to web, YouTube and all. So your target space should be Rec 709. I shoot log, so I enjoy playing with colors and I build up from a base of Rec 2100. Set your color temperature to what your main key light must have been. But again, I won't lie, I always, mess around with it on purpose. Let's say I want to build up on a warmer, sunlightish look, so I'll set it to 5500. You can set the white level point as well, but I don't. I love my color wheels. I love to manually play with them. I build my exposure, using color wheels. But yeah, this does come in handy when you're trying to match two different cameras / scenarios. Once all these settings are done and you made sure that the overlay square chips are bang in the middle of corresponding color chips on the card in the frame, and that the drop down reads the exact chart that you are using, hit match. Bazinga! This method is a bit more organic as this maps colors correctly to your targeted light temperature. As I keep saying, I am very experimental with colors. No two videos on this channel look the same. So for the same shot, if I want a cooler temperature, I will set temperature to, let's say, 7500 Kelvin, hit match, and boom! You thought I was going to say bazinga, no? But I only have an OCD with 3. So anyways, this is my starting point. And if you've not messed up stuff during filming, most of you won't need to do anything further. And this method kind of applies to when you want to match two different clips as well. So check these two clips out. I overshot the white balance by miles, like almost 95 million miles on this one and shot it on the sun, and 4.67 billion miles on this one and shot it on Pluto. I will follow through the color match tab steps. And as you can see, in less than 3 minutes, you're pretty close. This is before and this is after. Hey, but just wait a minute, please don't go, because I want to show you the method I use to double ensure correct colors in individual clips. So on your first node, do your color match thing. Then create a new node. Come to the frame where you can see the color patch side clearly. Now go to the window pane. Oh, hashtag open. Go to the pen tool, then use it to create a power window inside the cyan chip. Do make sure highlight is on. which means you're only seeing a small cyan clip. Now switch your scopes to vector scope and you will see a single line heading outwards. You can go to settings, increase visibility of the vector scope and the surrounding graticule for more help, and you can also enable the show 2x zoom for further ease. Now, do you notice these 6 squares with alphabets next to them? So these are cyan, blue, magenta, red, yellow and green. And ideally, when these colors are isolated in your frame, these lines, they should point towards these boxes, the center of these boxes. These boxes are actually mapped to correct colors, but you will mostly see that's not the case. So let's take it in our own hands. Let's do it manually. Go to the curves panel, switch to the hue versus hue. And at the bottom left, you will see those exact 6 colors: red, yellow, green, cyan, blue, magenta. Click on these and that will plot points on the graph right above. Now, what you need to do is use this point to guide the hue to the correct hue. That's confusing to say. I will show you what I mean. I will grab the cyan point, move it up and down, and as you can see, the vector scope line starts dancing. I mean, it shifts as well. Your goal is to get the line to roughly point at the center of its corresponding square box. So now this seems fine. And again, I'm not going for the absolute decimal math here, but I'm going, very close to the ballpark figure, if not exact center, center-ish. Once cyan is done, come back to the window pane and move this mask to the next chip, which is magenta. Oh, and at this point, let me also tell you, do make sure your mask is only sampling one color. Can you see what happens to the vector scope if I let the adjacent black border bleed into the mask as well? So just be a little careful. So now mess with the magenta point and help it align with the center of the magenta box. And this goes on for the other 4 colors as well. Once you mapped all the 6 color hues to the right hue, just click on the pen tool to disable the mask. And you're done. Honestly, the color match itself, the first node, gets the colors so close that sometimes the before and after isn't too recognizable. But yeah, pixel peep and you will see what it does. Well, that's it for this video. I really hope all of you who made it this far have learned something new. You've seen the benefit of carrying a color chart or at least a neutral gray card, that small one. I mean, I take learning the skills of filmmaking very seriously. This is my current workflow. I keep on improving as I learn, and based on both positive and negative criticism from you guys, more than happy to evolve, which means I take comments even more seriously. Stay safe, be vigilant, and I will see you soon. To win that giveaway, all you need to do is just give me some honest feedback on this video. Did you like it? What can I do better the next time? It's not a bait to get you to subscribe to the channel. Don't. 30th of October, I will randomly choose a comment and then ship the card via Amazon.